It's East Side versus West Side as two veteran New York lawmakers face off in a congressional Democratic primary in the state's 12th district Tuesday. New York Congressman Jerry Nadler, the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, is up against New York Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney, the chair of the House Oversight Committee, because of redistricting. According to a recent poll by Emerson College, Congressman Nadler leads Congresswoman Maloney by 19 points. For more on this, Scott MacFarlane joins us now. He is my colleague on the Hill, our CBS News congressional correspondent. Scott, thanks so much for being with us. First, just for people who may not be familiar with what's going on in New York, give us the backstory on how we got here with two incumbents going up against each other.
Of all the chaos of this midterm election cycle, the most chaotic situation might be the one in New York, where they redrew the maps, then redrew the maps again, then a court weighed in and redrew the maps again. And these intra-party redistricting primaries can sometimes be the most unorthodox and most divisive because you have candidates of the same party running against each other, and there are not a number of wedge issues they can pick up upon. In this case, in the New York 12th in Manhattan, it's the longtime veteran, Carolyn Maloney, chair of the House Oversight Committee, against the longtime veteran, chair of the House Judiciary Committee, Jerry Nadler, and two other Democrats on the ballot as well. These are two members who've been around a long time, amassed a lot of power on behalf of New York City, but don't have any experience running against each other because they never had to. They've been forced together through a redrawn map. We've seen that earlier this cycle in Illinois and in West Virginia, and it makes for unorthodox races where they try to find wedge issues where they can because their voting records are so similar. We know Mr. Nadler has a series of campaign stops for Election Day, including some election night campaigning outside the subway in Manhattan. Ms. Maloney has kept an active campaign schedule. They've gone head-to-head in debates. But there's one thing for certain, Nicole, even though we don't know the results a day in advance, we know New York is losing a veteran legislator either way. It's the pain of redistricting for politicians being experienced in many parts of the country this year.
And as you pointed out, both Nadler and Maloney have long records in Congress. So how are they trying to distinguish themselves going into Tuesday's primary?
Both arguing that they best represent this new constituency, this newly composed district, which may seem unorthodox for New Yorkers, but it includes the Upper West Side and the Upper East Side into the same congressional district. Both protested this when they were redrawn together, saying those two divisions of New York City should remain apart, should remain separately represented. They are now together, both arguing that the constituency they bring with them to the new district is best served by each. Ms. Maloney has caught some headlines during debates and during some of her campaigning by saying it's her understanding Joe Biden is not running for re-election in 2024. She has walked that statement back. That's not the headline that's going to help her necessarily in a Democratic primary. You showed the polls. Mr. Nadler is believed to be the front runner.
Let's also talk about the dynamics in New York's 10th congressional district. More than a dozen candidates are vying for the nomination there. Why has that race gotten so heated?
You've reported very well on this. Mondaire Jones, who's the incumbent member of the House who has moved to the New York 10th because of this redistricting, is a bit out of his old district now. He's moved south and he's moved away from a lot of the constituents who elected him to office. He needs to find a new constituency in this primary in the 10th, and there's any number of other candidates to subdivide what's going to be a small turnout vote already. The front runner, according to the most recent pollings, if you want to use the phrase front runner in a six-person race, is Dan Goldman, who served as an impeachment attorney for the U.S. House during the first impeachment of Donald Trump, and has made among his frontline issues the protection of democracy, which is a contrast to the kitchen table issues of gas and groceries so many candidates have put at the forefront during their elections this year, during their campaigns this year. We'll see what happens in the 10th, but it's another one of those races that is different than the others because it's a newly redrawn district with no incumbent in it.
There is also a special election in the Hudson Valley. What's significant about that race?
This is the New York 19th. It's a special election that falls on primary election day, but it's also being viewed as one of those canary in the coal mine races, kind of like Kansas was when it put the abortion issue on the ballot earlier this year. You have a Democratic candidate named Patrick Ryan from Ulster County. He's the executive in the Mid-Hudson Valley in Ulster County, New York, against the Republican Mark Molinaro, who's the county executive of Dutchess County. They're going head-to-head, but you watch the campaign ads and you see Patrick Ryan trying to make abortion rights a prominent issue. Take a look at a clip of his most recent ad.
Fought for our families, for our freedom.
And freedom includes a woman's right to choose.
How can we be a free country if the government tries to control women's bodies?
That's not the country I fought to defend.
His opponent, Mark Molinaro, running his own ads, of course, and making the kitchen table argument in his most recent spot. Take a look at this one.
Like paying more for gas and groceries? Of course not. Then why vote for Pat Ryan and Democrats? Democrats will continue spending your money.
A lot of money, a lot of outside interest now flooding into this race. It's believed to be a test case ahead of November, with an actual congressional Democrat candidate and an actual congressional Republican candidate going against each other in August, with the issue of abortion rights at the forefront.
All right, Scott MacFarlane, a lot to follow tomorrow. Thanks so much.